Welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast, proud to be the world's #1 community for brilliant childcare leaders. Each episode will feature interviews with the brightest minds in the childcare industry to guide you into becoming a smarter business leader. Our hosts have opened 10 schools while raising 5 children. They are certified business coaches and are the top-selling childcare business book authors of all time. This episode is sponsored by Elif Childcare Insurance. Give Blake a call at 972-232-2258 to get a free quote on childcare business insurance today. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast our hosts, Brian and Carol Dupre.
Welcome to episode 47 of the Childcare Genius podcast.
We're your hosts, Brian and Carol Dupre.
And we're so excited to have a great returning guest today. Prerna Richards is back for part 2 of a 2-part interview. And we're excited to bring her back. And it was actually one of the podcasts I learned quite a bit on. And one of the most fascinating guests that we've had on all year. Prerna is actually a faculty member on our team. She's an adjunct professor. She works with our Childcare University coaching students, and she's wonderful. And she deals with 2 things. She deals with behavior issues of children and also staff behavior issues. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So she has a business called Together We Grow, and she helps owners, teachers, and directors with behavior issues. And today we're going to deal with staff behavior issues. Yes. And it's probably the #1 most struggle area owners are dealing with is staffing, #1 retention, but also staffing problems, listening, yelling, calling in sick, not feeling appreciated, leaving early. There's so many different ways the staffing are struggling with right now. We've seen it in our own schools. And she's going to give you some great tips today. It's one of the best interviews we've done. And if you really pay attention and do the things that she's suggesting, which we're going to do in our program, you're going to see a huge change. And it's going to reduce your teacher turnover. It's going to make the owners happy, which in turn is going to make us happy. And because we want to make sure that you guys aren't struggling, which a lot of you guys are. So our job is to help you make it less struggle.
Let's get Prerna on the line. Welcome back to part 2 of our interview with Prerna. How are you today?
Great. Thank you for having me back. It's always nice to see you both.
So this is part 2 of a 2-part interview. So if you haven't watched part 1, stop this right now and go back and watch it. But if you don't want to do that, and this is the first time you're either listening to our podcast or hearing from Prerna, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Great. Thank you so much. My name is Prerna Richards, and you pronounce Prerna like you're praying. So that's the easiest way. And I've been in the field of early childhood now for 38 years and still counting. That's how old my daughter is. That's how I'm keeping up with it. And I'm still passionate about it. I am absolutely passionate about this field. I am convinced that this is my purpose on earth, to make the world a better place for children and teachers wherever I can. And that's the space I want to contribute. And Together We Grow is my company, and that is almost coming up to its 5th anniversary. So I'm excited to celebrate the 5th anniversary this August.
Well, congratulations. And we're so excited to have you do what you do, because you've worked with people that we know and you make their lives easier in the childcare world. And anything that makes our clients happier makes me happier. So thank you so much.
It's a good partnership. It's a good partnership. You do the business side, I'll help with the behavior side.
And Carol probably hire you to make me behave a little better. But other than that, I stay in my lane. But once in a while, I kind of steer off.
I find that hard to believe somehow.
Yeah, of the 2 of us, I misbehave more than that, and everybody who knows me. But when you live with such a beautiful and talented wife,
look at you.
It makes me want to misbehave once in a while. I mean,
look at you.
Anyway, sorry to get off track, but our listeners, they know we have a little banter going back and forth. But let's talk a little bit today about staff members. So childcare owners are struggling right now with behavior issues of staff members. It's probably the number one source of owner frustration and turnover. Can you give our audience maybe 3 to 5 techniques for owners to deal with staff problem behavior?
Right. So it's real. It's happening. Lots of teachers are leaving the field or they quit very quickly because they run out of patience and the stress is too high and the job becomes too demanding and they just rather not deal with all of that. So certain things that you can do as an owner director to help your teachers. I sometimes feel, and I wonder if you agree with this, sometimes I feel like teachers are just grown-up kids.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I'm a grown-up kid sometimes.
They haven't learned.
I don't want to grow up.
Right, but I'm talking about life skills they haven't learned along the way, self-control,
Right.
self-regulation,
Yeah, I get that.
impulse control, right? And so they get triggered very easily, and then they become very reactive very easily. And so what can you do if you're an owner director and you're trying to hire staff and you're trying to help them get acclimated to your program and not just be reactive and reactive and reactive? I think it's very helpful to recognize that staff have their own love language. And so when staff feel seen, heard, understood, motivated, valued, appreciated, they're more likely to commit emotionally, physically, mentally to your program. They're more invested in your program if they feel seen and heard. And this is why I said, grown-ups are grown-up children, because children also want to be seen and heard and understood, but the staff act out when they don't feel seen and heard and understood. So one of the strategies is recognizing the 5 love languages. 5 love languages at work. And I should have done this before because I have the book right here. Let me just bring that. So sorry about that. I love this book. So this is a very practical strategy and the 5 love languages at workplace. Game changer. So do it in, you can also do an online survey. Download the survey, have your staff complete it. Get to know their love language. And so why does this matter? Love language is the way people feel valued, motivated and appreciated. You want your staff to feel that, but they are acting out. So the way staff act out, let's break that down. Staff might act out by pushing back on policies. They won't enforce policies. They may not turn in lesson plans on time. They may be tardy. They may dress code may not happen. They may not follow procedures and policies, and they may be attitudey, and they may be gossiping, and those are the ways that grown-up act out. And I really feel like the grown-ups acting out that way is a sign that they're not feeling seen and heard and understood. So just like the dysregulated child, the grown-up is dysregulated and they do all this drama to get attention. And the best way to give them attention is to understand their love language. So download the survey, have them completed. Once you know their love language, implement it. So that's strategy number 1. Strategy number 2 is, I call it connecting rounds in the morning instead of correcting rounds. The minute you get on campus, do a connecting round. Stop by every single classroom, even your chef, make sure you, in your bus driver and your assistant director, whatever the roles are, it doesn't matter. Stop by and connect with them. And you can use the love language to connect with them. So I'm going to give you, the love languages are 5. The first one, if your infant teacher happens to be the words of affirmation. She feels motivated when you tell her what she's doing good, right? Some directors and owners don't give enough importance for recognizing, because they're like, you're doing a job, I'm paying you for it. I don't have to keep telling you that you're doing this for a good job. But this is the gas that you need for human beings. You have to put gas in your car to make it work. It will not work on its own. And you run out of gas. Well, recognizing people is the gas that humans need. So connecting with them at their love language is one. So words of affirmation. You tell your teachers to prepare for the next day. I'm telling you to prepare for the next day. So if you know your infant teacher is a words of affirmation teacher, before you leave that day, leave her a little sticky note on her door, on her bulletin board, where she's going to see it. And on that bulletin board, write very specifically, thank you so much for spending time on the floor with the babies. I know they were tired and you were so patient. I appreciate you. So be very specific why you're recognizing them. Nobody just wants a good job. People want to know what I did that matters to you. People also want to know that you saw me and you noticed me. So that's the first one. The second one is quality of time. Your toddler teacher is constantly popping into your office and being like a needy child. Do you have 5 minutes? Do you have 5 minutes? And that 5 minutes turns into 30 minutes and 45 minutes because that person feels valued when you give them time. And if you're not giving me what I need, I'm going to act out. My behavior is going to be acting out. You have to see the connection. And so your toddler teacher wants your quality of time. Knowing that she's going to take more time, maybe make your rounds and make her the last one, and allow yourself to have 10 minutes stopping and asking her what happened last night, connect with her family, whatever she's telling you yesterday, she needs to know that you heard it. So that's quality of time. The third one is acts of service. If you know your preschool teacher is love language is acts of service, before you stop by her classroom, grab some paper towels, grab some gloves. Oh, I was coming to you, Miss Jessica. I know you would need these, so I was thinking about you. Already she's going to be like, oh, Prerna loves me. Oh, she was thinking about what I need, right? So it personalizes it. Then we have tangible gifts. Go to Dollar Tree, have a stash in your office, have some note cards, have some candy bars, have some lip gloss, have some hand lotion, whatever it is, Dollar Tree stuff, have a basket ready to go. You know that your pre-K teacher has tangible gifts as her love language. Before you leave for work that night, before you leave for home, leave a little sticky with a little Mars bars so that when she walks in the next day, she'll be like, oh, she loves me. She was thinking of me, right? And the last one is physical touch. Quite often, the minute I bring this up, the directors will be like, I'm not a hugger. Don't be telling me to hug anybody. I'm not a hugger. But look, I'm going to say the same thing I say to you that you say to your teachers. You tell your teachers it's not about you, it's about the kids. I'm telling you it's not about you, it's about your teachers. So if you're not a hugger and they are a hugger, your school age person is a hugger, you give the hug. You survive the hug because it means to them value and appreciation. So you put yourself through it, right? So that's strategy number one, recognizing what the love language is, because quite often I will hear teachers, owners and directors say to me, Prerna, you have no idea how much I spend on my staff appreciation. I buy them t-shirts, I buy them lunch, I'm doing, and they don't give anything in return, and they just take, and they grumble, and they this and that. Yeah, because you're not speaking their language. You're buying them t-shirts and lunch, and their love language is quality of time. And so they don't value it. So you're wasting money and you're wasting your time because it's not resonating with them. So that's one thing. You can put it in their staff break room. You can have pockets with their names. You can write their staff love language underneath it. You have to recognize that if your staff are stressed out and reactive and explosive and attitudey, you have to change your social culture. You have to change the social culture of your work environment. It cannot just be that I just show up here for work and I don't need to know any more about you. You just get here, I'm paying you, and this is what it is. You're dealing with humans. Humans have a heart and humans need to connect. Do you have, so another strategy is, strategy number 3 is creating a group chat or support system for your team so that you get to know each other. Did you know, by the way, that this is a strategy that most schools are missing? What they found out was from a survey that people are leaving because they don't feel like anybody's investing in them. People are leaving because they don't feel like, and nobody tells them what to do. You just get hired and you're a toddler teacher and here's your classroom and I'm giving you the t-shirt and you're good to go and these are the logistics and here's how you do this. Mentoring is the answer.
They don't feel valued.
Yeah.
Say that again.
They don't feel valued.
Yes, they don't feel valued, but also they don't feel like you're investing in my professional growth. And this is a great way to empower teachers who are doing the good work, who are already invested in your program. If you have an amazing person who knows how to do outdoor play extension, make that person a mentor for somebody else. I really see this in you. I would love for you to help so and so. They feel like, oh, you're noticing what I'm doing, right? So it's about investing in people and helping them to feel like they belong. Do you know people are less likely to leave your program if they feel like they belong? Belonging is an emotion. Inclusion is an emotion. We have to feel like we belong. So the way you make them feel belonged is you speak their love language, you create internal groups where we can have mentoring set up, and we can support each other, asking them, you were looking like you were having a hard day. I heard you down the hall. I heard your voice yelling all the way. The reason I bring this up, and this is strategy number 3 or 4, I forget. The reason I bring this up is your silence is your permission. If you're not observing in your classrooms and you're not giving them feedback with what you're okay with and what you're not okay with, if somebody's yelling at a child and you hear that and you ignore that, the message you're giving is, yeah, this is how we do things here.
Yep. We say it all the time. Silence is acceptance.
Yeah, silence is acceptance. Silence is your permission. Silence is also, ignorance is bliss. Oh, I didn't know I couldn't say that. I didn't know you didn't like my attitude. Quite often, here's what's happening. The owners and directors are in a scarcity mindset. I can't talk to you. I can't fire you because I'm desperate. I need a breathing human being. You're 18. I'm just going to pretend I didn't hear that. Yeah. Guess what, guys? This is only going to make the stress worse. This is going to make the behaviors worse. When that
teacher infect the other teachers too.
Yes, because then it's unfair.
Yes.
And so is getting away with, and you're holding me accountable, and I'm your reliable person. Not cool. So, accountability is a big part, and accountability is not a bad word. And you don't have to have the scarcity mindset. If you are an owner, you have created a business, this is your legacy, right? You have to raise the bar, but you also have to recognize that stress is real. And when grown-ups are stressed out, they're reactive instead of responding. So how are we allowing teachers to take care of themselves? What resources and supports are we providing for our teachers to take care of themselves so they can take care of the others? You can't pour from an empty cup. You just can't. It doesn't work. And the work we do is stressful. The work that we do is important. The work that we do is meaningful in early childhood. But if we don't take care of our team and we just expect them that I'm paying you for a job and you better get on with it, and if you're not, then I'm going to dismiss you. Even the owners and directors dismiss teachers if they butt heads with them or clash with them. They dismiss them too. They write them off. And then that's a loose cannon. And all kind of negativity spreading. Right? So calling out gossiping, calling out behavior, calling out, holding them accountable. If you don't speak up, then don't expect change.
Right. I love how you bring the 5 appreciations of love language into this. It's great in a marriage too, because we use it. And Carol knows mine is appreciation, and I know hers is acts of service. I don't have to buy her anything expensive, even though she won't give it away. She won't give it back. I know getting her breakfast in bed or doing the dishes, that is her love language, me helping her out and helping. And she knows all she needs to do is a little bit of appreciation to me goes a long way, better than a gift or anything. So the
other thing, and so I'm so happy that you brought that up, because my husband and I also have that love language, very down. I have it with my girls too. But also recognize that love language changes the season of life you're in. It's not a one and done, right? The season of life you're going through, it changes. So think about this. You're spending 8-10 hours at work. And if that person doesn't know your teamwork, the other part of this is if your coworker doesn't know your love language, your superiors don't know your love language, you are showing up day in, day out, and it's building a level of frustration because you're not getting the recognition and appreciation that you need, and then it spills and leaks into everything. So I don't know what strategy number we were at, but the 5th one, before I forget, just really quickly, is to have this conversation with each other. When I'm stressed out, I do this. So co-workers should do this, and between superiors and teachers should do this. For example, I was coaching an infant room just last week, and there were 4 teachers in this infant classroom, which is an amazing ratio. Who has that? And they were all unhappy and they were all grumbling. And I said, do you guys just recognize that there's 4 of you right now? Like, can we just pause and say that? Like, there's not many classrooms that have 4 in the infant room. And so they were all reactive. And here's what I found when I was coaching them. 2 of them were hurt because the other 2 were not acknowledging their emotions. So they were shutting down. These 2 were reacting because these 2 needed a lot more of sensitive behaviors. And their stance was, you're here to do your job. I'm not here to baby you. I'm not here to fuss with you, to get on with it, right? So they both reacted and they both shut down. So I asked them this question. I said, how would somebody know that you're stressed out? If I was to work with you, how would I know that you're stressed out? And we took turns sharing. But one of the things that bubbled up the most was, I shut down. Okay, that's good to know that you shut down when you're stressed out. What can I do or what can I say when I see you shutting down? So then we talked about that. Some of them said, leave me alone. Some of them said, come and ask me, are you okay? Right? Game changer. If I know how you show up in the world stressed out, and if I know what me as your coworker can do in the moment when I notice you stressed out, now we're creating an empathetic, connected team. Instead of just yelling at each other and blaming each other that you didn't do it and you didn't pick up the baby and you didn't change the diaper and la 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 la. Sorry, I interrupted. You were going to say something earlier.
No.
That's good.
You're much more knowledgeable in this subject than me, but I love how you, like I said, bring the appreciation, love languages in. And this is such a delicate subject when you're dealing with people. And we had talked in a previous episode about trauma in the childhood, but how adult trauma, teacher trauma, they're bringing that into their classroom. And sometimes people get into this line of work because of childhood trauma. They're trying to save these children. I see it a lot. How do we deal with this as owners? How do we help these teachers?
So recognizing that the person who's coming in to teach, the grown-up that's coming in, is bringing their own baggage. They're bringing all the life experiences that have made them who they are. And also recognizing that behavior doesn't make that person. Behavior is not who that person is. So if you truly want to invest in your team, get to know them, build a trusting relationship with them, create an empathetic environment, a social climate. Are we talking from our hearts to each other, or are we just putting on a face when we come to work, right? Creating a space. Breathing happens to be an amazing stress management strategy for self-regulation. Become a breathing program. Like, I literally can't stress that enough. Breathing is neuroscience. Neuroscience tells us that when you take a deep breath and oxygen goes into your brain, it reduces your stress hormones. But we're not taking enough deep breaths, right? Recognizing that when you hear a teacher's stress voice going up, circling back, just like you would with a child, and circling back with a reflective conversation. Was everything okay? Not accusing, but was everything okay? I noticed you were struggling. What can we do? What was going on? When we start having these kind of conversations with our staff, it creates a place of acceptance. It creates a place that I'm not perfect and I'm not trying to be, but these people got me. These people are my family. People are less likely to leave based on who they work with, not for the money. Majority of the people are not leaving because of the money. They're leaving because of stress. They're leaving because of overwhelm. They're leaving because they don't feel valued and appreciated. They're leaving because it's not meaningful work. They're leaving because they don't belong.
Now, at what point did these behavior issues get to the point where we should terminate the employee?
Great question. Great question. So you must have policies and procedures written very specifically that, the first warning, verbal talk, write up, and then we're suspended, and then we are terminated. If you're spending energy, time, effort, and money on anything, energy, time, effort, and money, if you're repeating to the same person, if it takes time to have these back and forth again, we've already talked about this. We've already talked about something is not clicking. Something is not working. Is it your policy? Is it your accountability? Is it your follow through? Is it your unfairness? Do you hold some people accountable and some not? right? Owners and directors have a part in this. So with all of that said, having clear procedures that you're holding across the board. If it comes to a place of, so everybody's guidelines are different. Personally, for me, if you're disrespectful to children, and if you're mean to children, if you're harming children, you will have no place in my program because the work is too important. Tardiness and dress code and lesson plans, I will work with you. But if you come across as a mean, evil person, I'm going to use this word evil, and you're traumatizing children by your voice and you're controlling them, then I don't have patience for that, right? So you have to recognize what is your guiding principle? What are you standing behind? And if that line is crossed, then you don't have a place in this and we will manage. But don't come from a scarcity place of, oh, but I'm so shorthanded, and oh, I saw you being so mean to that person, but I'm just going to pretend it didn't happen because I need you.
Agreed. And I see a lot of owners doing that now.
We do.
I know, I'm seeing it too. It's a sad thing because, again, let's forget 90% of the brain is getting wired birth to 5. We are impacting a generation.
Yep.
We're impacting a generation. These kids are going to grow up. This is in the next 20 years, they'll be running the country. And if they have not been given, and the grown-up can't give what they don't have, right? So take care of you. Do you need to get one of the teachers in that infant room that I was coaching, she even started crying and she said, I'm going through depression, and I have so many things, and my boyfriend left me, la 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 la. I said, I understand that, but then you need to take care of you. Go to a doctor and get your prescriptions. You cannot do this work that is demanding if you're not okay in your head. You got to take care of you, but don't make that an excuse to ruin the next generation because you're not okay.
It's not fair to the kids.
Right.
They have, we're the best part of a lot of those kids' day.
Yes.
They can't be traumatized at the daycare when they're traumatized probably at home.
Yes.
A lot of children don't have the best home life. We always tell our teachers that we're the best part of most of a lot of our children's day. We have to make sure it's a positive experience at all times.
And not only that, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's happening. Trauma is happening in our classrooms. This is the honest truth. Sadly, our teachers, some of them, not all of them, it's not in every classroom, it's not in every program. But if you're listening, if you're a director and owner, I really want you to take stock of your team and pause and recognize, is everybody in my school showing up with kindness and compassion towards children? Let's just begin there. Not even a lot. Let's just begin there.
Agree.
Did you want to add that?
No. Could you tell us a little bit more about Together We Grow and how you can help owners?
Thank you for asking that question. So Together We Grow provides 3 services: professional development, behavior coaching, and NAYC consulting. And the behavior coaching is needed more than just the training. So I have a membership starting that it's designed for schools and it's for your entire team. So if you sign up as a school, your team everybody gets a training. If you join live, you get a certificate, you get coaching access. There's options of level 3, getting 6 coaching options every week and 2 more a month. Or if you come in at level 2, you can get twice a month. But the point is that you get the knowledge of the brain, and then you get the coaching strategies to change and implement. And then you have the accountability piece. So this membership piece is really a virtual community village where I'm trying to create a safe place where we can talk about stress, we can talk about trauma, we can talk about behaviors, and we can show up in an empathetic, compassionate way to support each other. And it's cheaper than you think, and it's like having access to high quality consultant without paying their salary. It's probably 1 or 2 of your enrollment tuition, and you could have access and help, right? And a game changer. My goal is very clear: taking one program at a time, one classroom at a time, from stressful to joyful. That's what I want to do.
How do they reach you, Prerna?
TogetherWeGrow.online, and there's a contact form. There's a YouTube channel with 5-minute videos all about the brain, but recognizing that behavior is telling you something. So if your behaviors from your staff are not jamming with how you would like to run your program, let's do something. Let's help them. Let's help you.
That's awesome. We will put this contact information in show notes. And we have you as an adjunct professor on our Child Care Genius University. So you're actually a staff member. You work with our coaching students, and you do an amazing job. We wanted to say thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your platform. I appreciate your membership. I appreciate the work that you're doing. And, you know, programs are lucky to be in part of your program because they're getting resources and they're not alone. And you're creating the safe space for them and you're guiding their businesses and financial and marketing. And I've seen all the services, all the coaches that you have. It's amazing, amazing services. So thank you. Thank you for.
Well, we enjoy partnering with you and helping the behavior side as well as the business side. But without the employees in good health, then you're not going to have a business. So you gotta take care of them so they can take care of you. It goes both ways.
100%. 100%.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the great weather down in Texas, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank you.
Boy, that was good.
That was really good. I learned a lot about how to make a better working team of teachers.
Yeah, and I love the like the acts of service and the quality time. It makes so much sense now that you think about it. And Carol and I've actually done the 5 appreciations. So we know when we actually practice that, and I know what hers is, she knows what mine is. We try to stay in those, but we never really thought of applying it to teachers and have the teachers actually do this free online assessment, find out what their love language is, and speak it, and teach the directors to speak that love language. Because if it's like acts of service, and you know, if you come in and help them with their classroom for a few minutes, that's a great act of service. But if they're an acts of service love language and you give them a gift, it doesn't resonate. Gifts don't resonate with me because because appreciation is my love language. So Carol knows getting me a gift usually doesn't land very well. But just telling me that she loves me, or telling me something sweet, or telling me that she appreciates something I've done, that is more that's better than well, maybe not a Ferrari, but definitely better than a brand new car. How's that? That would mean a lot to me. But you can get me a Ferrari if you want. That would be okay. That would show me that you really appreciate me.
All right, I'll use your credit card.
Anyway, I hope you guys have fun with us, because we have fun doing this. So if you're a center owner and need help in your business, and you'd like a free coaching call with me to help you in any area of your business that you're struggling in, visit our website at childcaregenius.com, and under the coaching tab, select the free coaching call button. These are for center owners, and you're guaranteed to come away with 2 to 3 items that you can work on in your business. And I look forward. I do about 10 of these calls a month pro bono to help you out as a give back to the child care community. And this concludes episode 47 of the Child Care Genius podcast. Thank you for taking time out of your life to spend with us.
And just a reminder to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss a future episode of the Child Care Genius podcast. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Child Care Genius podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Child Care Genius community.